Da-da-da-da-dum. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. How is everyone doing? We're gonna wait for a little bit until everyone shows up, whoever wants to be on this call. Hello, friends. I know many of you. It's nice to see you all.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello. Kyle and Kayla, what's up? Long time no see you guys. Very, very, very long time. Katya, you're in Poland, yeah? No? I can't hear you.
Sorry, Colorado.
Colorado. Okay, I thought for some reason that you went to Poland, but
Yeah, I'm thinking about at the end of this month. I mean, next month, April.
okay. Hey, hello, everyone. We're gonna wait a couple minutes until people join. Thank you for. Oh, while we're on here, if you can do me a favor, please. So I sent an email to everyone who donated a couple days ago, and I was like, I didn't get any response, like nothing, which is weird because there's like over 100 emails. And it turns out that they all went to spam. So if you can go find my email in spam, click that it is not spam, and ideally reply with something. It'll tell Google that it's a real email. That would be nice, because yeah, I was trying to give an update and also invite people to this call, but I was like, the registrations weren't going up, no replies. I'm like, that is so strange. So it turned out the Googles have screwed up a little bit. Yes, there it is, Colin. Please, that's the email. Please mark it as not spam. Reply with something, anything. That would be nice. Thank you again for joining. We'll wait a few minutes before we start. I know there's a way to have an automated system for Zoom to remind everyone to join the meeting, but I couldn't find it, so I had to manually, as you guys probably saw, manually get another registration email. It's better than last time. Last time nothing went out, I think. Hello. We'll wait a couple more minutes and then go from there.
Daniel, it's Blair.
Yes.
Is it just gracet.org that it's coming from? I'm not finding it in either of my boxes.
Yeah, it's going to be daniel@gracet.org.
Okay.
You probably didn't get it because you used another method, and I.
Oh yeah, I did PayPal. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's why.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
All right, boys and girls, let's few minutes. Thank you everyone for joining, for supporting us. I know many of you donated. Really appreciate it. We're recording this call, so if anyone misses it, then we'll send the recording. We got a few people who have relatives on the ground. Vlad, can you say a few words about your family and what you're trying to do?
Sure, I can say a couple things. I happen to have about, between uncles, aunts, cousins, about 14 families in Ukraine. Half of them were able to get out and are currently either in Romania or in Lviv, just who can't get out because they're just waiting in Ukraine still. And then there's another 7 families that are still in Kharkiv, which is on the eastern part. What they are currently doing is that they cannot evacuate, or they don't want to evacuate. They can't because there's not enough transportation, but they don't really want to either because I think they're scared to get out. One, because of the fear of death, and second, because they've been building something for a very long time, the whole entire life, and just letting it go. I think that's scary for them. And we tried to convince them that, like, hey, get out. But they're there, and what they've been doing is they've been trying to help all the kind of like elderly people that were left behind, and they're trying to bake bread and bring food as much as they can. What I've been doing is I've been trying to find volunteers on the ground who can either deliver food to them, or we get the actual contacts of people that need either medication or food, and we've been trying to find volunteers who could help them. So that's kind of in a nutshell, and working with Daniel too, because he has connections with, or he has partners in Kharkiv who do just that. So I know, Daniel, that was the overview.
Yeah, it's unfortunately Vlad's family situation is not uncommon. and we're hoping to help families like that. All right, everyone, I'm gonna share a few things with you on the progress so far. Our policy is 100% transparency, so please type your questions into chat. You can ask anything you want. This is complete, like, you guys are partners in this just like anyone else. And I'm gonna share our progress so far. And then Alex, if I can ask you to monitor the questions, or raise your hand like Colin did. If you can monitor good questions and then shout them out. All right, I'm gonna share my screen and share some share with you guys. First of all, again, thank you so much, everyone, for being on this call, for being interested, for donating. On behalf of everyone who receives this help, I just want to say a big thank you. As you'll see, the needs are immense, and it is disheartening how much need there is, but we can also help a lot of people. This call may run over an hour depending on the questions, so just wanted to let you know this call is being recorded, so if you miss something, you can take a look later. All right, so I'm gonna go through the admin stuff, and then Vadim is gonna go through the more practical things about what we are doing on the ground. Okay, so first of all, our team is, we are 9 days old as what we're doing in Ukraine. Last time we were on this call, it was basically just me and my wife Marina, but we also have a 6-month, or today actually his 7-month birthday is today, and Marina is taking care of him. So most of everything I was doing on my own. And for those of you that were on the call last time, you saw that Vadim was on the call as well. And he is, he is clearly very, very knowledgeable. And after that call, I called Vadim and asked, hey, can you help me? Can we work together? Because Vadim has spent the first 30 years of his life in Ukraine. So he has much better connections, he knows a lot more people. He understands Ukraine a lot better. He speaks the language. He's way more Ukrainian than I am. I've only lived there for 2 months in Ukraine and a couple of years ago, and I'm half Ukrainian, but Vadim is a much, much better person for finding who we can help and how we can help. And so I want to say a huge thank you to Vadim. He has done so much work. I mean, it's hard to even explain. Like, he has done a lot, and I just want to say a huge thanks. His main focus has been about identifying who needs help and where are reliable, vetted people who we can send funds to, and where are these biggest opportunities for us to help. So he's been constantly in contact with our Ukrainian contacts, assessing where the help is needed, and now he is also helping logistically. We'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. So I just want to say a huge thanks to Vadim. Without him, Grace Tea could not have been even close to what it is right now in 9 days. Also, we got in touch with Anastasia a few days ago. She was already helping. She on her own was able to collect $25,000 and send it over to people she knows there. She's also a lot more Ukrainian than I am. She spent the first 19 years of her life in Ukraine, has a lot of contacts, and is really, really passionate about helping. And so the three of us are the ones who have been spending every day on Grace Tea, but there are so many other volunteers. I counted off the top of my head 7 volunteers that have been helping somehow here in the US, whether it's sending photos from the conflict, to writing blog posts, which will soon publish, to helping administratively. I mean, there's been so many people helping, and that's probably my main contribution is just connecting people who want to help, and help because there's the work, there's so much work, there's just simply no way to get it all done. And even with all of that, this past week I've probably spent about 30 hours trying to do Grace T related stuff. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who helped, especially Vadim, who has spent a lot of time. Vadim will tell you a little more about what he's working on and what he's doing. All right, so far, what we have done so far is we expanded the team and volunteers, as you saw. We collected donations, and I'll share with you the numbers in a minute. We have set up banking and transfer accounts. This was my biggest task over this past week. As you can imagine, if you're receiving a lot of funds and you're trying to send it over to Ukraine, which is at war, it's difficult because you want to send it at the cheapest rate possible, but you also want to make sure the money gets there fast and it's reliable. And so I've been focusing on this, and I'm happy to say that we've finalized everything that we needed here. We also secured 9 trusted and vetted partners on the ground in Ukraine. Vadim will share about those. And we began sending funds to Ukraine already. I'm going through this really fast, just so that we can get the admin stuff out of the way and tell you more about what we're doing on the ground here. Financials, the response has been amazing. All of the effort in terms of spreading the word has been completely organic. We have not partnered with any big organizations or anything like that. So it's been 98% individual donors. So far, we've collected a little bit over $61,000, which I think is a lot. It's hard to know. I've never done this. I've never collected donations, but I think this is a really great amount. And even though the need is immense, if you think about, I was trying to guesstimate how many families can we help. And if we're looking at, let's say a typical family is 4 people, 2 adults and 2 kids, and we can use, say, $100 to help that family with food or water or whatnot. On average, it means that we're going to be able to help 600 families with these funds so far. So yes, it's 600 out of millions, but it is helping real people in need. For full transparency, I should know that the bank processing fees total about 4.5%. So out of this money, 3% is charged when people make donations, and about 1.5% is used to pay for the transfer to Ukraine. Every dollar minus these bank processing fees goes to Ukraine. No one makes a salary. There are no expenses. I'm covering everything out of my pocket if there are any sort of expenses. So far, we've sent to Ukraine a little bit over $22,000. We are going to be sending more, but unfortunately, a lot of time went into making sure that the banking system is set up and getting deposits. We use Stripe. Stripe is the one that takes donations. And because it's a new account, it took them a long time to verify us and actually deposit money into our account. But everything is set up now. And so we're all ready to go. Thank you to all of you who contributed to this, to this money, to these donations. Just big thank you to you. A couple legal notes. PDF of your donation receipts will be sent to you at the end of the year when you will be doing taxes. This is going to happen, so I just want to make sure that you know that you'll get the proper paperwork. We are a 501c3 organization, so your donation will be deductible. Also, some of my friend David is on the call, has pointed out that our organization is classified as a religious organization. For those of you that have not been on the call last time, I want to explain that Grace T, the reason we were able to open it so fast and we have the 501c3 status is because, in fact, this organization was opened 10 years ago. 10 years ago, my friend and I had an idea for translating English books and sermons into Russian. We created this organization. We went through the application process for 501c3. We got that status, but we have not done anything since. It was on pause and inactive for all these years, but we initially registered it as a religious organization. Nothing has changed for these 10 years, except for I have been updating the records with the IRS and the state to make sure that the organization is still active on paper, even though it has not been active in practice. So when we reactivated the organization 2 weeks ago, no, not 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and created the website, we did not update the paperwork with the state or the IRS that this is the purpose of the organization is no longer religious. We are in process of doing that, and soon it will be updated to reflect on what we're actually doing. So if you do find online the classification that it is a religious organization, I want to make sure you understand why it is classified that way. All right, I apologize if I'm talking too fast, but I want to get to the important stuff. Here's the important stuff here. This map is, oh, sorry, before that, I wanna, for transparency, I'd like to show you here. This is our Stripe account. As you can see here, we have collected almost 55,000 through Stripe. There has been about 141 payments / donors. And after fees, this is how much net we have collected. The rest of the donations were either deposited directly into the bank or sent through PayPal. So they do not show up here, but this is where the bulk of the donations go through. All right. Also, I'd like to say that if you are interested in getting a glimpse of what is happening with the war, I would recommend that you go to Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera is based in Qatar, Middle East. It's the biggest Middle Eastern news source. And if you scroll down, they have this live tracker, and they have very good maps and information on the war so far, what is in control of Russia, what isn't. It's very useful, and this is what I use. So this here, I'm gonna go back. This here is a map that I got from them. The green, all right, this is the time when I need to slow down. 1 second. The green marks is where our partners are either at or where they are helping. As you can see, we can classify the two groups into East and West. For those of you who are not familiar with Ukraine, let me explain a little bit about what's going on here. So as you can see, the Russian forces are what's colored red, and they are attacking multiple cities here, including, for example, well, in English, it's Kharkiv. In Russian, Ukrainian, it's Kharkiv with an H. In any case, as you can see, this city is very, very close to the battle. In fact, it is probably, with Mariupol, the two most destroyed cities, if I'm not wrong. And a lot of people are still there. And so the needs of people in conflict zones are going to be different than the West, which they have different needs. So first of all, let's talk about the West. The West, you may think, why are we working with people and sending funds to the West if there is no war there per se? Well, all of these people from the East and from Kyiv, which is the capital in the center, they're all fleeing to the West. Whether they're going to Poland to cross the border, or they're simply staying in the West to find shelter, these cities are completely overwhelmed with refugees. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of refugees that have nothing. They have no food, no water. They don't have medicine. They often simply took a suitcase and a backpack that they packed in 5 minutes and they fled. So even though on the map it looks like this is a safe zone, and it is for now, these cities are completely overwhelmed with refugees. So our partners there are taking in refugees, helping them, providing them with basic necessities, in some cases providing them with a few $100s to be able to survive. And these areas, they also are still, the supermarkets also still have some groceries, some things. So often this is where the basic needs will be, basic necessities will be purchased and driven to the east. Also, this is often where the churches or the organizations or the people would organize buses to go into conflict zones and evacuate people. So our partners there are focused on that. We also have one partner in Poland, which also will be working with refugees that cross Poland. I want to note, I noted a few minutes ago that the Grace Tea is not does not have a religious purpose. However, I should be transparent that all of the us that are Vadim and Anastasia and most of the people that are helping are Christians, and most of the partners, I believe Vadim can correct me if it's all or most, are Christians as well. This is mostly by coincidence, not by intent. But the thing about having a Christian network is that churches they have buildings and the capacity and the scalability to help a lot more people. So it helps us to reach more victims by partnering with churches. And so as Christians, we have networks of churches in Ukraine that are helping us to operate at a bigger scale. Anyways, so that's the West, full of refugees, and completely overwhelmed with just a ton of people coming in. The East has a different problem, a more dire problem, because they are often completely surrounded or mostly surrounded by Russian forces, and they are running out of food and water. There's nothing in the stores. There's logistics completely are broken down, and they simply do not have anything. Some people are without food and water for days on end. Some don't have food for weeks, basically almost over a week now. So this side of the country, the help there is more urgent, and we are partnering with people who are risking their lives, and they're taking vans and buses to drive to these cities to drop off necessities. Vadim will talk a little more about that. So, and those buses that drop off food and water in cities like Kharkiv, they often come back with refugees who are trying to flee those cities. You may be asking, why are there still people in these cities? Why don't they flee? There are multiple reasons. Some people, I would say a small amount, they simply don't want to leave. It's their hometown, they want to stay. But in most cases, whether it's by train or car, there is simply no way to escape. There are too many people. They don't have a car. There are shellings and shootings happening all the time, and so they're just unable to escape. So those are the two main areas where we're helping. Before I pass the mic to Vadim, are there any questions so far? I see that there's a chat. I don't, glancing at it, I don't see any questions per se, but if you have a question, just unmute yourself and please ask. All right, there's a question is how are we keeping everyone safe? We're not, we're not keeping anyone safe, unfortunately. The partners that we are in contact with, they are risking their lives and doing their best to stay alive. I guess that's all that could be said about that. Any other questions? Carla says that she has a connection in Germany who can help drive people to Germany and help them get settled. That's really awesome. Carla, if you can put your contact information in the chat so that Vadim can get in touch with you. All right, I'm gonna pass the mic to Vadim. Vadim, I'm gonna just continue with the slides. You just tell me where to go next.
It'll be I think it will be very logical the way I'll be talking about that. Like first, I wanted to give a huge kudos, huge thanks to Daniel for, you know, having an open heart to what is going on in Ukraine. And because I was, and a lot of people that I know, a lot of Ukrainians here that I know, a lot of people who visited Ukraine, they wanted to help, right? How can they help from here financially, right? So I was trying to do that, but how much can I do on my own, you know, and how much can I do before IRS is going to start and raise questions, you know, where the money is coming from, where is it going to, you know, is it 10,000, 15,000, 20,000? So I got to my limit in the first week of helping Ukraine and helping my friends there. And, you know, then I'm like, what do I do? And I joined the meeting last week. And Daniel asked me if I want to help, and pretty much I'm doing what I was doing before, finding people, locating them, trying to see who needs help and how I can get help to them. But I'm doing that on the level of organization of Grace T with a lot more resources. That again, to you guys, so grateful to you that you are donating to this cause. This is amazing. So we are.
I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna interrupt you and pause you for a second. I forgot to mention how I know Vadim and why I trust him. I think this is important. He is the person that essentially controls where the funds go, and I trust him 100%. Vadim is a family friend of my wife's side. He is at every birthday, every party, every funeral, at everything that our family gets together. He is there. Exactly a year ago, my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, died from cancer. It was very unexpected, and she found out 3 weeks before she passed away. It was a terrible time. Vadim was the most helpful out of every friend or someone we knew. He was the most helpful in helping with the funeral, and he, to me at least, he really proved his integrity in that time. And so I just want to make it clear that Vadim is completely trustworthy. And Vadim, I'd like to, if you could also share a little bit about your backstory, where you're from, how are you in the US? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't want to take a lot of time because like everyone wants to hear about like people there, but I lived in Ukraine my first 30 years and I was involved with different nonprofit organizations. One main one called Come and Serve, and we were based in the Crimea, the place that is right now Russian. And during that time, I got good connections. I was working with different organizations, traveling across the country. I grew up in Western Ukraine, Lviv. You can see Lviv, and then Crimea down at the bottom is where I went to where I was going to college, and then that's where we had the mission that I joined, and we were helping Crimean Tatars with their settlements, and helping provide electricity, dig water wells, and things like that. So during that time, I've connected. It's some might say by accident. Right now I can see the purpose for all that, for all those connections that I made back in Ukraine. The fact that a lot of my friends from the Crimea ran away and now in all different places around Ukraine as well. Such a horrible thing that happened. Crimea became Russian. People had to flee. Right now, there is a network of my friends from the Crimea who are all over Ukraine and who I can contact and who I can trust. So that's like all the way down to the time when Crimea became Russian. I was living there. My family was living there. And, when Crimea became Russian, 3 suitcases in the car with my 2 kids. We just, we were driving to the border, new border, Crimea, Ukrainian border. I didn't know if they will let me out. I didn't know what would happen. They were killing civilians. It was scary. And, like right now, listening to what is going on in Ukraine, I experience the same, like I can relate to what people are experiencing, getting a suitcase and going to nowhere. I came to the States with nothing, and I don't have family here. My wife has a family here in Washington, but I came here, and as Daniel said, that I'm at all of their events. Like his family, his wife's family became my family here, and I'm very close with them. And when Daniel said that this is what we are doing, we have an organization, we would like to do that, can you help? Yes, 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 and yes. So this is where I'm coming from. This is what I'm bringing to this team. This is like my help and my input. So now we will get to people that we are partnering with, and why is it important that we connect with people we trust. We want to be transparent with you. We want your money to go to the right place. Right now, there are so many scams. Even my friends here in the States who are donating, they're like, oh, this is a brand new organization. Are you sure, Vadim? Are you sure that this is the way the money is going to actually get to Ukraine? I'm like, yes, I am sure. But how do I know? Because I know personally. So the partners that we know there, they have to make a choice with money that we are sending. We need to trust them to make a choice with the money that they're sending to. We don't want them to come to us about every $100, $200. We want them to give us reports and let us know what they're using the money for. But we trust them to make that choice. And how and why do we trust them is because we know them personally. I know them personally. I work with them. Like one of the guys, when my daughter was being born and my son was at home, I needed to go to the hospital. He was staying with my son, and I forgot that he has issues with hearing. He was sitting next to my son's door the entire night. I'm coming back, and Ruslan's like, yeah, Michael is fine. And I see him sitting next to his door. I'm like, why are you sitting here? It's like, oh, you remember, like I have bad hearing, so I just didn't want to miss him crying. I'm like, oh my goodness, I should have asked someone else, but these are the people. These are the people that I'm connected with. So some of them I know personally, some of them I know through my friends, and I heard about them, heard about work that they're doing there. So first one, and I'll bring up just 2. I don't want to spend all of your time. I'll bring 2 people that and how they got connected together through our communication and how we are working right now. So the first one is Vyacheslav, in other words, Slavic as well. If I call Slavic, it's Vyacheslav, it's short for Vyacheslav Bonder. And Vyacheslav, I didn't have an opportunity to meet him. A lot of things crossed when I was back in Ukraine, where he started what he's doing right now in Kharkov, a lot of counseling work that he does, family counseling. He has a family center, but he was studying with my brother-in-law, who's here in the States, with my brother-in-law and guitarist from my band in Ukraine that is very, very close friend of mine, studying in Donetsk Christian University. And then he went to Kharkov to start a program, counseling program for families. So he's there. I heard about that program, heard what he was doing. And of course, in this time, he switched to helping people, because there's daily bombing going on in Kharkov. Daily shooting, and people, as it was said before, some people were able to leave, some people were not able to leave. Some of my relatives on my sister's side were stuck there for 4 days, and they're like, this basement is more safe than anything else out there. We are afraid to leave. We are afraid to go anywhere. And finally, they were able to escape to Poltava. But one day they went to the train station. Thousands, I don't know if you've seen this picture of the train station, the platform, and filled with thousands of people. That's Kharkov. It's there. People are going to the train station, and they're there for 2-3 days before they can get on the train to go to western part of Ukraine. Sometimes trains come, sometimes they don't. So this is where they're at, bombing, shooting every day. And both, like 2 people that I know personally, they're like, hey, Vadim, contact Slavic, contact Vyacheslav and see, because he's doing a lot. Look at his posts, look at what he does. So I contacted him, and he has a network. He is connected through his center he works with different churches in different districts, different areas of Kharkiv, and he is able. A lot of guys who are there, they have cars, they have vehicles. He's able to get some of the supplies, some of the food, hygiene items, diapers for kids, diapers for adults that are needed, some medicine, and bring it to Kharkov, and then the guys are taking it to the spots. We even through us, some people were asking us, giving us phone numbers and addresses of people, and he's able to help and connect with them and bring food and bring some medicine to those people. The biggest problem, the biggest issue in that region, and a lot, not only Slavic, in Eastern Ukraine, it's impossible to get hold of supplies. It's impossible. He's sending us pictures of supermarkets and stores with empty shelves, empty, nothing at all. He's like, Vadim, don't send us money. Like, we cannot, like, we've got enough money for gas right now. We have enough money to help some families that need to leave, but we cannot buy anything. He goes to surrounding towns. He can get through the blog posts. He goes to surrounding towns and he's able to get some stuff, but he's like, Vadim, if you can get us humanitarian aid, if you can get us food, if you can get us hygiene products, if you can get us medicine, we have a network to spread it all, to share all that, to take it to people who need that. And my brain was boiling. I'm like, how am I going to do this? Like, how are we, like, who is going to be willing to go to Eastern Ukraine right now? One of my friends, she has a network. She does a very similar thing that we do. Their drivers were trying to go to Mariupol. One of the drivers got killed and shot. So that's how dangerous it is. So this is Slavic. That's his family. And what is happening right now is there was a truck that we were able to help to get to Kharkov. This truck right here that they are unloading, and they're loading them into the vans on the right side. You can see the van that they're loading it to and just taking it to places. But, and this is what Slavic is. Slavic is on the second picture. He's on the left. The main thing that people are asking, like, get us the food, the products, we will take them around. So some people are doing it. Some people are taking them around. So I was looking almost the entire week. I was on the phone with different people. We were helping, like, dotted helps to specific families that need help, who are escaping with nothing at all. They don't have money. And I was trying to get hold of my friend Ruslan. He is in Western Ukraine, because I knew I can see some of his posts, not a lot, but he has a Youth with the Mission Center in Western Ukraine. So if we can go to the next slide about Ruslan. So Ruslan is the guy who was sitting next to my son's door. I know him personally for many years. We were, when I was living in the Crimea, what they were doing with Youth with the Mission, what I was doing helping Crimean Tatars, we were involved in so many projects with him and his family. So he's right now in Western Ukraine. He is in Ternopil, Western Ukraine, where many refugees, like there are 3 cities that are refugee meccas right now: Ternopil, Lviv, and Rivne. A lot of others, they also have people coming. A lot of cities are transitional cities, so refugees coming, spending a day or two, getting food, taking bath, and going to Poland, going to Hungary, Romania, and so on, trying to get to Europe. So he's located there. He's accepting refugees. They have up to 150 spots in their center that they just have. Their place is a transition place. Only, I think, around 20 or 30 people are staying there and helping as volunteers. So he is part of Youth with the Mission, as I said, and their base in Ternopil allows them to provide shelter for refugees. And they process trucks with humanitarian aid. They get trucks from Poland, from Hungary, from Romania. Now we connected with people from Moldova. So they have officers in customs on borders, because Ukraine has a very, very easy processing right now for humanitarian aid. Trucks, even, they don't have to like change the license plates or anything. With Polish, Moldovan license plates, they can go and stay in Ukraine with that license plates. They provide the paperwork that this is for YWAM humanitarian aid, and they can drive around. So they are processing 2-4 trucks a day. And what happens, people from the east, from Kiev, you know what, I don't know if you've seen what happened in Irpin. We posted yesterday the cars, like loads of cars on the street that were trying to escape, got shot. Just, it's insane. Civilians got shot, you like with like, it's like a movie, you know, with someone with automatic rifle just shooting through a car, and it's like all shredded. And so people are taking refugees from Irpin to Western Ukraine, loading their vans with humanitarian aid, that the trucks that we are getting from Poland, Hungary, and taking it back. And when I heard that, I'm like, Ruslan, I'm like, since day one, I'm trying to get in touch with you. And of course, he's busy. He's sleeping 3-4 hours a day. And I finally got in touch with him, and he's like, Vadim, give us people who can distribute that. We'll send stuff to them. So I connect him with Vyacheslav from Kharkiv. And I'm like, no one is driving there, Ruslan. How are we going to get it there? Trains are going there. Trains are going there empty, coming back filled with people. So they're like, let's fill one cart with produce, and let's make sure, because departure, arrival and departure time is very, very fast. So he's like, we just need to make sure that there are tons of people there unloading everything, so that, you know, the train doesn't have to wait for them to unload all this stuff. So this is the connections that we are making. And then another, so they're helping evacuate people from the east, help them with transitioning housing, send them to the border. They are getting humanitarian aid and getting humanitarian aid to the drivers who bring refugees, and taking it back to the east, taking it back to central part. So partnering with Ruslan opened so many doors for Grace Tea. That's like the biggest question that we had for like 4 days. I'm contacting people that I know, and they're like, yes, we can distribute, we can buy little bits here and there, but if you can send us a truckload of stuff, we will, in a day, it will be distributed. In a day, we'll be able to process all of that stuff. So now this is Ruslan, his wife, his girls in the back. His wife and girls escaped. He stays in Ukraine. He's helping them. The next picture shows the unloading in the middle. In the middle, you see the bedding supplies that they have for all of those 100+ people that they have. And on the right, on the van, one of the transportation men, they just put mattresses in, and you see those elderly people. That's how they transport elderly people from the east to their place. You know, they can just lay down there. They're driving as safely as Ukrainian roads. Oh my goodness, the potholes are just crazy. But they can safely bring these grannies who at first were like, we are staying here. We went through World War II. We're going to stay here in our home. And then after a couple of days of bombing, they're like, please take us out of here. So they are able to do it. They're able to transport those people and provide housing to them. So this is a great place, because, and this is where we are now connecting with people abroad. Why do we have people in Poland? One thing is refugees. There are so many refugees that are crossing the border that we need Russian and Polish speaking people to at least come and say in their native tongue that, guys, it's safe, get on this bus, they have housing for you. Because if they hear something in Polish and they don't understand it, and they already don't trust, they're scared, and they're like, are they going to, and for real, this is the question, they're like, are they going to get us into prostitution, or are they going to, hopefully they're not going to take our bodies for organs. That's for real. That's what, like, several ladies who came to Poland, my sister is there, and she was trying to get them out of the car, and they were just stuck in the car like, we don't want to, what is waiting for us there? It's like, look, this is a great house, you will be staying here. Like, I hope it's not for organs, I hope our bodies aren't. And this is what people are coming, what in their mind, the worst is in their mind, because the worst is happening to them right now in Ukraine. So we have people in Poland who are helping those refugees who cross the border, and we have asked them, guys, can you put together several vans of produce? Here's the list of what we need, and get it across the border. We will help with customs. So those people who get with the customs, if you get to Ternopil, to this base, they will unload everything, and they have already a network of people who are taking that to the east. So we are partnering right now with several people abroad, Moldova, Poland, who are going to get the things that people need in the east, get across the border to Ternopil. And now my connections with Slavic, another person is Sergei Sayenka, because you saw more dots. He's already taking, he drives around villages, even from people in the villages, buying sacks of potatoes, onions, stuff like that, and taking it to the cities that are being bombed right now. So, and he said the same thing. If you can get us a truckload of produce, we can deliver it in a day. So he has a network as well in those cities. So now is the main thing is to get them the stuff. So the door got opened. I really see that, and you saw our donations were a little so far. That's because the next donations are going to be large amounts to buy all this stuff in the West, in Hungary, Romania, Poland, Moldova, and get it to Ukraine so that then we can transfer it to the East. So that's what I've been working on. That's the progress. Again, in since last Saturday, 1 week, getting all that done. For me, it's a miracle. Like I would not think that this would be possible in a week. And here we are. You know, on Friday I connected with Ruslan, and he's like, yes, we have ways to process full trucks, and just, you know, let us know who to send it to, because they are right now already getting ready to send stuff to Slavic, and then let us know who to get stuff from, who we are getting stuff from, so we can provide all the documents for customs, the information where they're coming to, and then they will be unloading that, loading into the vans, sending it to the East. So this is where we are at. Any questions? Any
If you have
questions?
questions or comments, please feel free to unmute yourself and share. But as you guys saw, we didn't expect it ourselves at first. I definitely didn't expect it, but the help needed is often a lot more than just money. A lot of it is logistics. Even though we can send money to the East, they can't buy anything with that money. So Vadim is working hard to figure out how to actually get the goods to the East. And we're also getting messages from different people and saying, hey, I have a family here. Is there anyone you know who can deliver food or medicine there without this or that? And we tried our best to help out with that. So it has become a lot more than just funneling money into Ukraine, but actually figuring out the logistics for it. Also, want to say thank you to everyone who reached out. I've been on the phone a lot this last week. Everyone from people who are working in, say, the fashion industry. I had a young lady reach out that she's in the fashion industry, and they want to donate clothes to ship to people who are raising money. There's just been a lot going on in the last week. In 7 days since last meeting, it's just the amount of conversations and progress has been just tremendous. And again, thanks to all of you who donated. It's really appreciated. I hope you see that it's going into the hands of those that need the help. There's a question that says there's quite a few immigrants from Ukraine trying to cross the border in from Mexico into the States. How does anyone know about that? And will any funds be spent in helping settle those people in the U.S.? Igor, so I know my mom, my parents, they hosted people who crossed the border. They would fly to Mexico and then on foot try to cross the U.S. border, and they usually get asylum that way. But no, we're not going to be focusing on people here. All our entire effort is on helping people in Ukraine, because yes, I understand that all refugees, no matter where they are going to need a lot of help. But right now we're trying to address the most immediate need, because if you are out of food and water, that's the most pressing need that we want to address. So we're going to be focusing on those. But if you want to, if you want to know more about, call my parents to find out more about the process with the Mexican border.
Yeah, many American friends here, they were asking, like how else can we help other than sending money to Ukraine? Are there any people coming here? So if people are crossing the border and they need help here, I know that a lot of churches are like willing to provide housing. A lot of people are willing to provide housing. I have personally 2 people who told me, like, if anyone comes here and needs housing, just let us know. So if that's here in Washington, they're coming here to Washington. There are at least 2 houses that can house people. But if that opens up, it's just a matter of spreading the word, and there will be so many responses for helping them here. Some Americans said if they need sponsors, we can be their sponsors. If they need a place to stay and things like that. Germany is very welcoming to Ukrainian refugees. Yeah, Europe is open fully. Poland is right now. Poland is overflown with Ukrainians. Even Western Poland, right next to Germany. That's where my sister lives, where my friends live, my cousins live. And they, at first, even their jobs and factories, they would say, like, hey, if people come, we'll have jobs for them. Now they're like, okay, we're full. So Germany just lets people through. And now the buses, at first, Polish buses that were taking people from the border to different spots in Poland, different places in Poland. Now all the buses, it's not in Poland anymore. We just got a word from our partner Anton in Poland. He's like, now the buses are going all over to Holland, to Germany, to France, to Italy. From Poland, they're taking people out, and those countries accept. So Carla, sometimes, like, and yeah, share your contact, because if there will be someone going to Germany that cannot stay in Poland and they need to connect with people in Germany, because a lot of them know someone that they're going to, but some of them don't know anyone. They're just going blind. And of course, the government has the resources. They are providing shelter for them. But if that's a family that can house them, if that's a family that can help, they're a lot more open to that. So yeah, let us know if there will be someone going to Germany and that will need help, that will need a contact there. I want to be able to share it.
There's also, Blair said that I'd like to suggest that anyone who has media contacts, that they reach out to them and suggest they join us next week. That would be really great. If you guys have any contacts that you think could help, whether it's financially, logistically, or otherwise, please do ask them to join. Also, we are completely transparent, open book. You guys, most of you, many of you know my number. I'm going to put it into the chat. Anyone can text or call me if they want to look behind the scenes of more detailed reports on where the money is going, how we're tracking it, all those things. All of that I'm completely 100% open to. So please feel free to share my contact with them. Also, my friend Violetta, she is, well, last time I heard, she was a prosecutor. Are you still a prosecutor, Violet?
I am still a prosecutor. I have some ability to volunteer some hours, and so I've been in touch with immigration attorneys, and there's a site that I added. It's for Ukrainian legal aid, where attorneys just from all over the world are able to sign up and say, we're donating, I'm willing to do some legal assistance. So it's kind of in the beginning stages right now, how Grace T is. I just got an email yesterday. They're vetting people who volunteered, and there's like numerous languages. So it's all over the world. And then the link also has a section where people can, refugees can submit their information and say, I need assistance. And there's numerous languages there where you can submit that to. So then the people who are running the administration of it will be funneling the people who need the help with the people who are able to provide the help. And then I also posted a link to a local immigration attorney here in Seattle. I know him we used to commute together on the Bainbridge ferry, and I've also offered to volunteer with him. I am from my family's from Dietska Oblast, so I speak Russian, and I volunteered with him to, if he has people that need immigration assistance, I would work under his supervision, because so far I only know how to prosecute criminal things, so I'm still figuring it out.
Can you prosecute immigrants is the question.
I sure
what
can, but I don't think that's
for context,
gonna
you're the prosecutor with King County, right?
for King County. And I should add also, a lot of the work that I have done is for crimes against women and children, including human trafficking. So that's kind of a big concern of mine. And the reports that you guys were talking about regarding people getting not having the ability to know that they're going to a safe place is very concerning. So I have my former boss is the special representative on human trafficking to the Organization of European Security. So I forwarded him the link here. So I'm hoping he's gonna be able to join us next week. And he's gonna be on the Polish border in the next 24 hours to kind of assess the situation. So if you guys are learning any information about kind of human trafficking or anything like that, I would like to pass that along as well.
Awesome, thank you. I also know Violet many years, and thank you so much for sharing those links. Please do write them down. Also, I'd like Katya to share, but before that, Vadim, I think you have to explain your T-shirt.
For sure, because if you look at it, it's like Russian. It says Russian right here, but it says Russian battleship and ED as Ukrainian, like very looking similar to Ukrainian emblem, state emblem, and then it says where it should go. And that was, I don't know if you heard about the Snake Island, and that's in Ukraine. There was a Ukrainian military base on the island. It's down south in the Black Sea, and there was a Russian battleship that came to the island before they shot it completely, like leveled it with the ground, and they were talking to Ukrainians there, asking to surrender. And what Ukrainians' response was, Russian battleship and no censor, F off. That's what they said. So some people are paraphrasing that, but everyone says go the same direction, like to Russians and to not to Russians, to those the occupants, like those who are coming to their land to invade. Because I love Russians. They're great people. The fact that politically what is happening with Ukraine right now is like in many cases beyond control of regular Russian people. And but what people say, and what Russia did in Mariupol, for example, surrounding city, keeping people without water, gas, electricity, and opening corridor only for Russian humanitarian trucks to come in. No one else. Red Cross wasn't allowed. Ukraine was trying to get there, wasn't allowed. So they bring these trucks in, hoping that people will come begging on their knees, saying, "Oh yes, great, Russia is finally saving us." Everyone says, "Go back the same direction where Russian battleship was told to go to." So that's what the T-shirt is saying.
Yeah. For the record, I'm a Russian citizen, so not the idea that this war is backed by Russians in general is completely false. Sure, there are many people who are listening to the TV and the propaganda, and they will have an idea of the conflict that's completely different than the reality. But most Russians I know are completely against this war.
Mm-hmm.
Katya, would you share the services that you can help with, if you can speak?
Before Katya shares, I just wanted to add, guys, that our help and support is strictly humanitarian. We don't help in military way. We don't help one way or another, and we are strictly getting that information across to our partners in Ukraine, because some of them do work, bring food and stuff to block posts. Our donations are going only to civilians. So we emphasize that, and that's where it goes to, just so that you know. Me, I have my own opinion, and if I have my own money and I want to send to support like territorial protection troops, that's my choice. But through the organization, it's only humanitarian aid, only to civilians.
Yeah, and I also want to add to that the people are the victims, and we're trying to help the people, regardless of your understanding of the conflict and the reasons for it. The truth remains the same, that millions of people are in need today, and that's what the organization is helping. Katya?
Sure. Thank you, guys. Well, my name is Katya, and I am a professor at Christian University here in Colorado, and a licensed professional counselor. So I actually thankfully have a bit of more time right now, since I teach only one class. So I'm really happy to connect with people who are in America or in Ukraine, are needed not just a brief psychological help, just breathing and anxiety, panic. And as well, we're hoping to get a group of people, perhaps going end of April, to Poland or Eastern Ukraine to help and work with kids who are helping them to go through trauma, because the first couple months will be really crucial for them to have support and to eliminate symptoms of acute stress disorder or PTSD, so post-traumatic stress disorder. So again, if you know of anyone who would benefit, I'm happy to talk, put groups together. I have few more Russian-speaking students of mine who are graduates who are willing to volunteer as well. So definitely working on that and creating some material and so forth. So.
Thank you so much. If you guys can write down her contact info as well. And I'd like to, I'm gonna send the summary of the links and the email addresses to everyone who was registered for the Zoom call. But please, I beg you, in half an hour from now, check your spam and mark that it isn't spam if it went there, because I want to be able to communicate, but it seems like for whatever reason the emails are going to spam. So please set a timer, an alarm for 30 minutes to get it out of spam. That would be really helpful. Any other questions or comments? Carla asks if I can get contact information from German photographers through the OPI. I probably could. If you could, Carla, I'm going to leave my email here. We'll coordinate, maybe find a way to work together to find people who can help in Germany or otherwise. All right, we're over an hour as scheduled, but does anyone have anything else they'd like to share or comment? All right, well, I want to say a big thank you. I know for many of you, whether you have Ukrainian roots or don't, it's been an extremely stressful couple of weeks. I don't think I've been more depressed for a longer amount of time. Maybe when my sister-in-law died. It's been very difficult time, but of course it doesn't compare with anything that people are experiencing on the ground. And even though a small group of us can help, maybe not exactly a lot of people, but we are able to help hundreds of people at a minimum, and hopefully with donations continuing to come through, we'll be able to help thousands. So thank you for participating in that. Thank you for being a force for good. I really am grateful for you, and thank you for everyone who has been sharing online and investing your time. Thank you, everyone. In 30 minutes, please take my email out of spam. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day. Bye, guys.